I do a lot of work with flow state with my clients, and I think that nicely dovetails. I would say first, a prerequisite for accessing flow state. Some of the things you need, I think if you have some active PTSD and significant anxiety, it's going to be really hard to get in flow state because your amygdala is kicked on. When your amygdala kicked on, that's your fight or flight little almond part shaped of your brain that will take over, and it is sending you into a sympathetic state instead of parasympathetic state. When you're in parasympathetic, you're calm, collected, grounded, right? So we got to shift you out of that. Now, fortunately, MDMA helps you do that when safely and appropriately done. But if you don't work through the parts that are activating that, then you're basically the same person on the other side. So the thing that I found in a lot of the ceremonial psychedelic guides is you have this magical journey that's basically self-reflective. Then on the other side, you're still the same person. You just got a little escape.
Yeah.
So I've seen people like I literally have facilitators that I'm working with that have been under practitioner training for like 8 years, and they haven't dealt with some of the core things. And I'm helping them deal with those core things. So we got to shift you into parasympathetic state. So prerequisite, you got to, if you have PTSD, have significant anxiety, can't relax and be present. ADHD is a sign of like some stuff in the background that you're not able to sit and be still. I'm not saying like sit like a yogi and be still, but just be able to focus.
Just be at home in your body.
Yeah, exactly. Then, doing some breath work and stuff like that to get into flow state, because you got a calm center ground meditation. It can be a 20-minute practice with music. I like supplements like Genius Consciousness, Genius Mindfulness, limited caffeine. And then you need something like Kotler and his book, The Art of Impossible, which was after Stealing Fire. Both of those are great. He talks about you need, it needs to be roughly 10% beyond your comfort zone. So any new skill, like it just needs to be a stretch. But if it's too much, if you're at 20 to 30%, you're probably going to enter what I call the zone of paralysis, where it's going to be too much of a leap and you might crash, right? Then you think of a big wave surfer. A big wave surfer doesn't go from surfing a 40 foot to a 100 foot wave. It might go from 40 foot to 50, 60 foot. Even that 60 foot is going to be a little too much, more than likely. But you're kind of bumping up in a way where you get locked in. It causes you to lock in because if you F up, you're going to have little side effects, right? And it needs to be challenging enough so that you have to focus. Because if it's easy, if it's my normal, there's no. That's why Jordan got bored and he retired twice. I've already top of the world. There's nothing left for me to do here. I need to go try a new sport. Right. But then the next piece is when you're in flow state, you're 500% more productive, and you release all 6 neurochemical cocktails, the positive neurotransmitters, oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine. So you release all those chemicals in it. That's why it's feel good. And it also helps you pull out of depression. Getting in flow state is going to help you feel amazing so that you're no longer like in Stealing Fire, they talk about how it has helped veterans get cured of PTSD when they activate and experience enough flow state. But you also typically need a minimum working block of about 90 minutes. And so at least 90 minutes, maybe 3 hours, where you get really deeply in and you lose track. And it is definitely a massive hack for productivity and effectiveness.
The same flow state that we all desire, I mean, if you're here listening, you desire this, is the same flow state in work or in relationship.
Yep.
But the one in relationship can be, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about this, a lot more confrontational, because with the right woman or the right man, when they're really your whole mate, you can't hide. They're going to be like, hey, what about that thing? And your wife's going to poke you or prod you. And you're going to be like, oh, I knew that was there, but I don't want you to touch that. In work, it's like there's a bit of more egoicness, or there can be more egoicness because we're performing, we're in our lane, we're doing our thing. How do you pull the qualities and the characteristics from flow state for work into flow state for love and relationship?
One of the things, if you think of like MDMA, when we do MDMA, what's it do? It helps us be here now, helps us stop the mind chatter.
No doubt.
And so because you're here now, you're able to access flow state as a couple, and you're just present. Because at the end of the day, present when you're in flow state, you're so immersed that you've lost track of time and you're so deeply present.
Yeah.
And so you're one with the wave, one with the basketball, one with your partner. So MDMA is, in a way, a secret hack for that, or 2CB is another one. But the medicine work helps you get there, but you don't want to become dependent on it. Medicine work is just helps training your nervous system for what is possible without the medicine. Like even when my wife did her first psilocybin journey, like she's laughing, she's happy for 24 hours. Like, okay, that is possible. We can get there. How do I create the environment, get the crud out of the way or out so that she can be there consistently? And she's there consistently. My wife doesn't even do full medicine journeys really at all anymore.
Yeah.
For over a year.
You don't have to go as often and you don't have to stay as long is what I heard from you. Bob Proctor said that. If you have like annoying relatives, don't go as often and don't stay as long. I'm not saying that it's annoying in therapy, but it can be because these parts, these exiles get touched and the protector gets relaxed. And then next thing you know, I was realizing things about Josh that I had intellectualized probably 100 times at this table, 100 times or more. And I'll share because it's so profound. And this is like the beauty of your work. And also, dare I say, the challenging part of your work is to witness parts of me or people that are in session with you, that they're seeing them and experiencing them for the very first time. It's so sacred. It's so powerful. And there can be a lot that comes up. It can get pretty volatile, I'm sure. So I had told this story 1,000 times. And I was 11 years old. And my mom was getting carried out of the house on a stretcher. She had a manic bipolar episode. And my grandparents were there and they were lying to me. And they were like, oh, your mom's fine. You know, everything's going to be okay. And what I touched in the session with you was this phrase, where the fuck were you, Dad? Where the fuck were you? Like this anger and resentment, like you got my mom pregnant and you left. Like, what the fuck? Like, what were you thinking? What were you doing? And I can even like, just feel it right now, the emotion of it, the energy in motion. And I was able through some of your ninja skills to go in there in a way and hold 11-year-old Joshy in a way that I had never, ever held him before. And I share this not because I'm so special, but because we're all really special and we all have this part or multiple parts in us that we probably have intellectualized. We've probably actually built a foundation of identity by hiding and protecting that part that felt like it was going to die or that felt like it was alone. And so I'm sharing that because, man, to be able to touch that part and be with that part, it completely revolutionized our entire relationship. Because now I'm able to talk to the part of Carrie that I'll let her share publicly if she wants to. So Carrie's part, her young part, and little Joshy can have conversations. And for the past month, man, we've been having these conversations. I know you know what I'm talking about. Like, hey, babe, little Joshy want to know if you and your little part want to go on a date. Or little Joshy's feeling something right now. Like, I got him. I got him. He's right there. But I just want to let you know what he's experiencing. And then she's able to talk to him. The very weight that was holding us back in relationship was that she would say, I feel like you don't accept me for who I am. And I would say, I feel like you don't love me. But it wasn't really us. It wasn't the adult us. It was the part of us that was locked in from childhood as a coping mechanism, as a protector, so that we wouldn't fucking die. And this is what I'm telling y'all, like, full stop. If you're interested in going into the depths of yourself, I truly don't believe from this point in my life and experience that you can get there without the healing of the parts, the psychic unconscious surgery that you do, and the calming down of the brain hemispheres through whatever medicine that's done. MDMA seems to be pretty powerful. It feels like, I wonder how you see this, and also in working with us, when we put in the parts of healing to address the parts of self that have been locked away for so long, it's like the biggest deep exhale you could ever feel. It's so profound.
It is.
And you know why I know it sticks? Is because we can practice the language forever. We can practice the way of beings forever, regardless of the rupture. Whoa. So you love that episode? You'll love the one on the screen. Click it and enjoy.